Guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Clearwater Toyota, and guess what? I have that one mid-size 3-row SUV that has just that extra room that many people want. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander. This particular one is an XP. But before we get into this 3-row mid-size SUV with extra oomph behind it, let's talk about what's going on here. So, as you are probably aware, prices of vehicles are just getting downright dumb. Mid-size SUVs, we're now talking about vehicles going into the 50s and approaching that $60,000 barrier. Well, what this vehicle is all about is giving you that extra style that's going to get people's attention, but it's also going to come in at a more affordable price. So even though this is a Grand Highlander XP, it's based off of the entry-level Grand Highlander, which is the LE. And remember, for 2025, that's something that Toyota changed altogether, was adding the LE trim. In 2024 model year, it was XLE, so it actually started with a higher price point. But what I want to find out is this the most affordable of those larger mid-size 3-row SUVs without giving up everything, including some self-respect after you park it and you look back at it? Why don't we go ahead, let's dive into our blacked out, Stephen loves this blacked out Grand Highlander, and find out. Right off the bat, it may look like regular just gloss painted black, but guess what? So far from the truth. Nice metallic flake, especially the way they kind of add some blue sparkle in there. Really gives it some nice character. Now, even though this is the entry trim, you are going to get LED headlights and daytime running lamps, but you are going to get the older style light bulbs for the turn signals. I'm okay with that because they're trying to cut back on the price. LE trim gets the chrome across the brow, and when we drop down, you actually have functional corner air curtains. So it's not like they just put something on for style and it doesn't do anything. And I really like the way they sculpted this mid bumper area, because that's another thing. Trying to make a mid-size SUV look good for some brands is a challenge. Lower portion, all flat black, gonna take a nice beating over time. Now, as we come across that enlarged center grille area, you'll notice functionality up top, all flat black. We got a little bit of body color that goes around the perimeter, and then you have another kind of lower lip that's flat black as well. And can't forget that Toyota badge. But it's interesting because this is not the same vehicle as the regular Highlander. They actually created a vehicle that was that much larger to make it a separate, totally different vehicle. But let me know what you think about the front of this XP trim of the Grand Highlander. I think it's got a pretty sporty look to it. Now, as we rise up, you got that hood that just meets perfectly with the front fascia area. It's almost like the Egyptians put this together. There's like no gap in between the hood and the front fascia. Simple lines, but clean lines. And I like that. I can appreciate that. Coming around the bend, when you go XP, check out the wheels. Love these multi-spoke gloss black wheels. You'll notice the X Series badge in the center. Even black lug nuts is a nice extra touch. Wheels are 20 inches in diameter. And then tires are 255 on the width, 55 series sidewall. On this trim, there is some flat black. I'm gonna let it slide because, like I said, they're trying to keep the price point a little bit more obtainable. Coming down the side, you are gonna get a gloss black XP badge. It's a little hard to see because of this particular model being black, but nice placement, color matched on the mirror caps. You got your turn signals built into the mirrors, painted door handles, not flat black, and you'll see I like along the bottom it's flat black because that's going to take a better beating. No roof rails. I actually prefer these SUVs without roof rails, unless you're really going to need them, because it just cleans up the look. You got a little bit of bright, shiny metalwork only along the bottom. And look how it doesn't even like wrap around like some of the other ones do on other vehicles. It comes to a freaking knife tip right there. Be careful, Steven. You don't want to poke yourself. Now, as we get towards the rear, same thing like up front. You got your LED taillights, the X Series badge, and then they black out the Toyota badge, and the Grand Highlander badge is actually part of the rear liftback. Nice long roof spoiler. The only thing I'm gonna zonk is the wiper. They need to put it underneath there, get it out of the way. But very, very clean out back. Working our way down, same thing on the lower bumper area. No exposed exhaust, no fake exhaust, nothing. It's just a nice, clean, flat black lower rear bumper area. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk about what is powering this Grand Highlander. All right, guys, we got the hood pop. Now, you can get a Grand Highlander as a hybrid. This one is not a hybrid. This is just your regular internal combustion engine. And this one is front wheel drive. You can also option in all wheel drive. What do we got going on? Nice engine cover for something like this. It says the word turbo on it because it is turbocharged. What are we looking at? We're looking at that 2.4 liter turbocharged inline four. Now, the great news is that it's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. So you're looking at 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. It could tow up to 5,000 pounds. Top speed is governed to 113 miles an hour. The vehicle weighs 4,290 pounds and gets an MPG rating of 21 in the city, 28 on the highway. So the size of this vehicle is approaching near to the Sequoia, but remember, this is a modular chassis, whereas the Sequoia, being the full size, has the Tundra chassis, which is a body on frame SUV. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and see this Grand Highlander move. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander. It's the big one. It's not the regular Highlander. This being an XP trim. Now, of course, when I say affordability, I'm not talking about affordable in the sense of that's $10,000 brand new. I'm talking about affordable compared to other SUVs in this segment. So if you go with a regular LE, you're looking at an MSRP of $40,000, which, having things like LED headlights, electric liftback, and some of the other goodies in here, that's not too bad. This one, being an XP, bringing a little extra style and functionality to it, is going to be $46,000. Still well under that $50,000 threshold that many of the competitors have crossed over into. But let's see what you get when you go Grand Highlander to the door panels. I love the clean style. You have soft touch material up top. I'm digging the flat metallic gray finish. And then this one has a beige two-tone setup to it. So it really does add a nice pop of color to the door panel. Door pocket is on the tight side. So maybe I would say just 3 English muffins and a venti size coffee from Starbucks. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, soft material, you get a USB-C, you got your Baker's Dozen for Twinkies. Here's a little fun fact. We're gonna pause our normal show here for a little fun fact. Do you wanna know where Baker's Dozen comes from? Back during the Middle Ages, bakers would be penalized if they didn't give you the right amount of food by weight. So they would always do 1 or 2 extra. And that's where we get 13 being a Baker's Dozen. See? Let's go ahead and continue our normally scheduled broadcast show to the infotainment system. I've never done that before. First time ever. 12.3-inch infotainment system, not some little 7-inch, not, something you need a magnifying glass to look at. 12.3 inches. You got your Sirius XM, Of course, it's all that functionality, same multimedia software that they've been using on all the new Toyotas. You could control your seat, AC controls, front and rear. And then, of course, you could set up the different driver profiles. Let me throw it into reverse. Resolution is actually not too bad on a vehicle at this price point. You do have trajectory, which is nice. And then we're right back where we started. Dual climate control. Love the way you got your nice toggle switches, real knobs and switches. AC vents cleanly mounted in there. 2 USB-Cs. There's your start stop button. You got a place to put a bunch of 3 Musketeers. This is going to control your 8-speed automatic. You got a Yeti can holder here, so you can put your Yeti can in there. And then you got 2 smaller cup holders. Snow mode, normal, sport, eco. And then the armrest does not lift up. You actually slide the door, and you could probably put, I would say, well, first of all, there's a 12 volt in there, which is nice. You could put, I would say, 3 packages of Chips Ahoy's chocolate chip cookies in there. Just make sure that you have something that you could dunk the cookies in some milk. Because Chips Ahoy cookies just, I don't know, they're just a little on the too crunchy side. Like, makes a mess. I like to dip it in some milk. And then you close it up. Seats, when you go XP, you're getting these cloth, they are 2-tone, nice durable, manual seat controls for the passenger, but I have full electric assist, and because we're trying to cut on costs, there is no sunroof. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel in this Grand Highlander. All right, guys, we are behind the wheel, the business end of this Grand Highlander. There's our seat controls, easy to get to. Nice to have electric seats for the driver. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room, more room, obviously, than a regular Highlander. Steering wheel, I'm a little sad about. You get the Rubbermaid steering wheel, the urethane wheel. I wish that they could at least put some faux leather or something like that. It is manual tilting and telescoping. And then you do have a 7-inch digital gauge cluster, which is nice. And of course, it'll display, there's sport mode, there's normal, and there's eco. You get a little bit of green there. And then of course, you have a cornucopia of information that you could display within the tachometer there. Not too bad. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the mid-row and the third row and see what this Grand Highlander is bringing. All right, guys, mid-row time. When you go this route with the XP, you are getting a bench seat in the middle. And what's nice is that the seats do slide and they do recline, which is great. And then the backs of the seats, that nice textured material, large pockets. You can put 2 bags of Twizzlers back here. You do have rear AC controls, which is great. 2 USB-Cs and a 12 volt. And then, like I said, I'm 6 feet tall. Seats are comfy in here. They also do recline, which is nice as well. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into that third row, because I think you're going to be impressed with how much room there is in this Grand Highlander. All right, guys, third row seat time. I love how far the mid-row seat slides forward. You got a lot of real estate for your people to get their footing to climb on back here. And once you're in, like I said, for a mid-size, non-body on frame SUV, my knees aren't too high. I got plenty of headroom. I got AC vents, USB-Cs, large cup holders and snack holders. Plus, you can recline the seat even a little bit more. What else could you ask for? But why don't we go ahead, let's get that cargo area and see if it's gonna make you happy in this Grand Highlander. All right, guys, cargo area time. We have the electric lift back. We have it in the up position, obviously. On the driver's side, you do have a nice nook for 2 gallons of chocolate milk. And then we have that third row up. So with the third row up, how much cargo space do we have? What do you think? We have 20.6 cubic feet of space. Fold down the third row, it's 58 cubic feet of space. Let me show you how easy it is to flip down. So it's all manual. You're just gonna lift up and then we're gonna push. 1, 2, buckle your shoe. 3, 4, shut that freaking door. And then there we are on the third row. There's those USB-Cs I was trying to point out to you that are on the handles there to pull yourself back there. Fold down the mid-row 60/40, you're looking at 98.7 cubic feet of space. Just to put that in perspective for you, that's like as much as a Chevy Tahoe, which this is not as large as a Chevy Tahoe. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's hop in and go for a spin in this Grand Highlander. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander XP right away, you're gonna love the comfort of the interior. The seats are very comfortable. Lots of great storage in here, and visibility is wonderful. It is front wheel drive, so when you go on throttle, you are gonna lose some traction. But I really feel like the 4-cylinder turbo is paired so well with the 8-speed automatic that it all just comes together very nicely. Even though the seats are cloth, they feel great. Well within reach to that 12.3-inch infotainment system. And like I said, it's one of those vehicles that I think the way they have it spec'd that you're gonna wanna look back at it after you're done parking it. And the fact that it's not gonna break the bank is also very important as well. Now they do a good job overall with the ride quality. We're on a pretty ripped up part of the highway, but the road noise and wind noise isn't too bad in here, which is nice. And it feels really good behind the wheel. Easy to read the gauges. Like I said, the visibility is great. You have your Toyota Sensing 3.0 with all the safety features. And the fact that you can have more room than a regular Highlander, but you don't have to step up to the Sequoia is a nice touch. Really nice touch. But I'm gonna go on throttle real quick. Nobody's behind us. On throttle, here we go. So 8-speed drops down and we're off. I do have it in sport mode. Sport mode is gonna intensify, of course, throttle sensitivity, steering sensitivity, and how the transmission and the engine behave with one another. Love the fact that we have real physical knobs and buttons for the dual climate. And like I said, to have that third row be so usable, but yet you're not driving a large SUV like a Chevy Tahoe or a Ford Expedition, is really nice. It's like that sweet spot in the lineup for people who need that space. But it's a nicely sorted vehicle that has tons of connectivity. And the fact that you still get certain amenities like dual climate, like the power assist on the rear lift gate, and the larger 12.3-inch screen is also a nice touch. I know some people are not going to love the beige interior, but they have other colors, and there isn't a sunroof at this price point. But just a really nice driving SUV with the room that you need. That's what it boils down to. If you need the room, they have the room in this Grand Highlander. Because let's be honest, in a regular Highlander, that third row is not very usable, especially if you have bigger passengers that need a fit back there. They're going to be hating life. In a Grand Highlander, very, very usable. But I just love the way it's easy to drive, and you're going to be safe in it, which is nice. Everybody wants to be safe. And it's got plenty of pep to get out of its own way. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of what the Grand Highlander XP is bringing for the money. We're gonna get back to Clearwater Toyota and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. Guys, another great day in so many ways here at Clearwater Toyota. Definitely got to thank Steven getting us access to this black beauty. It's that 2025 Grand Highlander XP. Let me know what you think. For the money, is this the most affordable of those larger midsize SUVs? Let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. If you're new to the channel though, and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raise Rise family. We gotta thank Steven Flood, and we gotta wish him luck, because guess what Steven's gonna try to accomplish? He is going to my hometown, Brooklyn, New York. He's gonna go down to Coney Island and enter the Nathan's hot dog eating competition. So, Steven, we wish you well with your wieners. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.